I've broken some rules to make this. Carbon fiber and titanium.
Debris is consistent with a catastrophic implosion of the vessel.
Not what we thought. A year on from the Titan tragedy,
We knew. And, I've broken some rules to make this.
In the depths of the North Atlantic, where the legendary Titanic has rested for over a century, another tragic story was about to unfold. In June 2023, 5 souls embarked on what was meant to be the adventure of a lifetime. A journey to witness history 13,000 feet beneath the waves. The vessel was revolutionary, yet controversial. A carbon fiber submersible designed to reach crushing depths never before attempted with such materials. But as the Titan began its descent, no one could foresee the catastrophic chain of events that would follow. Time was running out, oxygen depleting, hope fading. The world watched as an unprecedented rescue mission raced against the clock, while experts grappled with a haunting question: should civilians be exposed to such extreme risks? This is the story of the OceanGate Titan, a tale of ambition, innovation, and ultimately tragedy. Let's dive into the video. The founding of OceanGate. OceanGate was founded in 2009 by Stockton Rush and Guillermo Sohnlein as a private company based in Everett, Washington, United States. The company's primary focus was providing submersible services for paying customers, enabling them to experience the underwater world. From 2010 until the catastrophic loss of their submersible Titan, OceanGate operated leased submersibles to transport customers off the coast of California, in the Gulf of Mexico, and the Atlantic Ocean. Stockton Rush, one of the founders, had a clear vision. Visiting shipwreck sites could garner significant media attention. Among these wrecks, none was as famous as the Titanic. Rush recognized that expeditions to the Titanic would be a media sensation, given the public's fascination with the tragic story of the ocean liner that sank in 1912. Before embarking on Titanic dives, OceanGate had conducted other missions, including a 2016 expedition to the wreck of the Andrea Doria, a destination for explorers. The Titanic, a British ocean liner that famously sank in the North Atlantic Ocean on April 15, 1912, has been a subject of immense interest for historians, explorers, and the public alike. After the ship collided with an iceberg, more than 1,500 people died, making it one of the deadliest peacetime maritime disasters in history. The wreck of the Titanic was located in 1985 by oceanographer Robert Ballard, 320 nautical miles from the coast of Newfoundland, lying at a depth of about 3,810 meters. Since the discovery of the wreck, numerous research expeditions and tourism ventures have explored the site. By 2012, a century after its sinking, approximately 140 people had visited the wreck. It was within this framework of underwater exploration and public fascination with the Titanic that OceanGate positioned itself to offer unique voyages to one of the world's most iconic underwater destinations, the Titan Submersible. OceanGate's Titan Submersible, formerly known as Cyclops II, was the vessel used to transport passengers to the wreck of the Titanic. Built with advanced materials, the Titan was constructed from a combination of carbon fiber and titanium. The vessel measured 6.7 meters in length and weighed 10,432 kilograms. Its unique design featured 2 titanium hemispheres for the pressure vessel, joined to a carbon fiber wound cylinder that formed the main body. One of these titanium end caps could be detached to serve as the hatch, which was fitted with a 15-inch acrylic window for passengers to observe the underwater environment. Despite its cutting-edge design, the Titan faced significant challenges during development. Initially intended to reach depths of 4,000 meters, it was downgraded to a depth rating of 3,000 meters due to concerns over the structural integrity of its hull. In 2020 and 2021, OceanGate made repairs to the hull after discovering signs of cyclic fatigue, which occurs from repeated stress. A striking detail about the construction of Titan was that the carbon fiber used in its hull was reportedly sourced at a discount from Boeing because it was too old for use in airplanes. Boeing later stated that they had no records of a sale to OceanGate. Lack of certification and controversies. One of the most contentious aspects of the Titan was its lack of certification from any regulatory body. OceanGate, under Stockton Rush's leadership, had made the decision not to seek certification for the Titan. Rush argued that safety protocols hindered innovation, a stance that garnered significant criticism within the submersible industry. He famously stated that safety measures were a pure waste, and that rules, such as those prohibiting the combination of carbon fiber and titanium in submersible construction, could be broken with the right engineering approach. In 2019, Lloyd's Register, a prestigious ship classification society, refused to certify the Titan, citing concerns over the vessel's design and safety. Despite this, OceanGate pressed forward, operating in international waters where the lack of regulatory oversight allowed them to continue without certification. Passengers who boarded the submersible signed waivers, acknowledging that they were embarking on a journey in an experimental vessel that had not been certified and could result in serious injury or death. The technological features of Titan. Although Titan lacked formal certification, OceanGate touted its technological advancements. The submersible was equipped with an integrated real-time monitoring system, a proprietary safety system developed by Rush in 2021. The RTM used sensors and strain gauges to monitor the hull's integrity under increasing pressure, providing real-time feedback on the vessel's condition. This system was intended to give early warning signs of potential problems, allowing the pilot to abort the dive and return to the surface if needed. Additionally, Titan used a Logitech F710 wireless game controller for its steering controls, a choice that garnered both curiosity and criticism. Nevertheless, Titan was able to move at a speed of 3 knots using its 4 electric thrusters. Dives to the Titanic wreck. Between 2021 and 2023, OceanGate organised several multi-day expeditions to the Titanic wreck, referred to as missions by the company. Passengers, who were called mission specialists, which included 1 or 2 dives to the wreck site, weather permitting. These missions were conducted aboard a support ship, with passengers spending 5 days in the ocean above the Titanic wreckage. The descent to the wreck typically took 2 hours, with the entire dive lasting around 8 hours. Each Titan dive included a pilot, a guide, and 3 paying passengers. Communication with the surface ship was limited to brief text messages, and a safety ping was emitted by the submersible every 15 minutes. Despite the technological innovations claimed by OceanGate, technical malfunctions and weather often led to the cancellation or early termination of dives. OceanGate had planned multiple dives to the Titanic wreck in 2023, but only 1 mission succeeded in reaching the wreck. This mission, the 5th overall and the first successful dive of the year. The safety concerns and disregard for warnings. From the outset, there were serious safety concerns about the Titan. These concerns were not only raised by external regulatory bodies like Lloyd's Register, but also by former partners of OceanGate. Early in the development process, Boeing, NASA, and the University of Washington were involved in design recommendations and testing of Titan. However, these partnerships dissolved when Rush ignored or dismissed the quality standards and safety guidelines suggested by these organizations. After the disappearance of Titan in 2023, all 3 entities distanced themselves from the project, claiming no responsibility for the final design, testing, or manufacturing of the submersible. Rush's attitude towards safety was controversial. In interviews, he downplayed the importance of stringent safety protocols, suggesting that risk was a natural part of exploration. In a 2021 interview, Rush stated that he had broken some rules in the creation of Titan, and believed that innovation should not be stifled by what he saw as unnecessary regulations. Expedition arrangements. In early 2023, Stockton Rush, the CEO of OceanGate, organised an expedition to the famous wreck of the Titanic. The mission involved a submersible dive to explore the shipwreck, and Rush extended an invitation to American businessman J. Bloom. Bloom and his son were offered seats at a discounted price of $150,000 each, a significant reduction from the standard $250,000. However, Bloom declined, citing safety concerns, despite Rush's assurances that the journey was safer than crossing the street. The expedition, originally scheduled for May, faced delays due to poor weather. Eventually, a new window for the voyage opened in June, setting the stage for what would become a disastrous mission. Preparations on June 16, 2023. On June 16, 2023, at 9:31 a.m. local time, the expedition, labelled Mission 5 by OceanGate, departed from St. John's, Newfoundland. The Canadian-flagged research and expedition ship, MV Polar Prince, carried the team towards the Titanic wreck site. Among the occupants of the submersible was Hamish Harding, a British businessman and explorer who posted on social media about the expedition, emphasising that the extreme weather had delayed earlier dives. He expressed excitement, noting that this might be the only crewed Titanic mission for 2023. Harding confirmed that the team had a clear weather window and planned to begin the dive around 4 AM EDT on June 18th. However, the coming days would reveal a tragic turn of events, leaving the global community in shock. Dive, disappearance, and implosion. At 5:15 a.m. Newfoundland Daylight Time on June 18th, Polar Prince reached the vicinity of the Titanic wreck site. Around 8:30 a.m., 5 people, including Russian Harding, boarded the submersible Titan. The submersible was mounted on a platform known as the Launch and Recovery System. By 8:55 a.m., the platform was submerged beneath the ocean's surface, allowing Titan to begin its dive. For the first 90 minutes of the descent, the crew aboard Polar Prince maintained communication with Titan via text messages. Every 15 minutes, Titan sent a message, and it continued to ping the ship every 5-10 seconds, confirming the submersible's location. At a depth of 2,274 meters, Titan sent a message stating, "All good here." Pings continued without indication of any problems. The last text message was sent at 10:47:27 a.m, with the message reading, "Dropped 2 WTs, which referred to dropping weights to control the ascent. 6 seconds later, the final ping was received, suggesting Titan was at a depth of 3,346 meters. This would be the last known communication from the vessel. Unbeknownst to the world, a US Navy acoustic system had detected a signal consistent with an implosion shortly after Titan submerged. This signal went unreported initially, but later became a critical clue to what transpired deep in the Atlantic. Both James Cameron, the famed filmmaker and explorer, and Bob Ballard, the oceanographer who discovered the Titanic, speculated that the crew likely encountered difficulties, triggering an emergency ascent. However, their efforts were cut short by the sudden implosion of the submersible, possibly caused by delamination of the pressure hull. Search and rescue efforts. When Titan failed to resurface by the expected time of 4:30 p.m. on June 18th, concerns mounted. At 7:10 p.m, the US Coast Guard was notified of the missing submersible. Given that Titan carried enough breathable air for 96 hours, the rescue effort was launched immediately. A multinational search and rescue mission commenced, involving the US Coast Guard, US Navy, Canadian Coast Guard, and various aircraft and ships. Among the resources were sonar-equipped vessels and remotely operated vehicles capable of operating at the depths of the Titanic wreck. The search began 900 nautical miles from Cape Cod, Massachusetts, in a race against time. The search included aircraft from the Royal Canadian Air Force and the United States Air National Guard, as well as ships like the pipe-laying vessel Deep Energy, equipped with specialised equipment for seabed exploration. On June 19th, aircraft from both the US and Canada scoured the surface, while a US Navy P-8 Poseidon aircraft deployed sonar buoys to scan the depths. Weather conditions, including fog and low visibility, hampered search efforts in the early days. Despite the challenging conditions, crews covered thousands of square miles of ocean in hopes of locating Titan. On June 20th, a Canadian aircraft detected underwater noises in the search area, raising hopes that the submersible might still be intact. However, these noises were later deemed unrelated to the missing submersible. Meanwhile, ROVs searched the depths around the Titanic wreck, searching for any sign of the missing vessel. As time passed, the clock continued to tick on Titan's limited air supply. On June 21st, additional vessels, including CCGS John Cabot and commercial ships like Scandi Vinland and Atlantic Merlin, arrived on the scene to bolster the search effort. However, the situation grew increasingly grim as no trace of the submersible was found. The discovery of the debris. At 1:18 p.m. on June 22nd, a breakthrough occurred. The US Coast Guard announced that a debris field had been discovered near the Titanic wreck site. The debris was located by an ROV named Odysseus 6K, operated by Pelagic Research Services, which had begun its deep-sea search hours earlier. By 4:30 p.m, at a press conference in Boston, officials confirmed the worst. Titan had suffered a catastrophic implosion, killing all 5 occupants on board. Pieces of the submersible were located about 500 meters northeast of the Titanic's bow. The debris included the tail cone and the forward and aft end bells, which formed part of the pressure chamber meant to protect the crew from the crushing pressure of the deep sea. The implosion was likely instantaneous, providing no chance for survival. US Coast Guard Rear Admiral John Morger explained that the deep sea environment was incredibly unforgiving, and it was unclear whether any human remains would be recovered. The tragic OceanGate disaster claimed the lives of 5 individuals aboard the deep-water submersible Titan. Among the victims were prominent Pakistani investor Shahzada Dawood and his 19-year-old son Suleiman. The Dawood family, part of one of Pakistan's wealthiest business dynasties, had a deep passion for exploration and adventure. Also lost was British businessman Hamish Harding, a billionaire and renowned explorer known for his daring expeditions, including trips to space and the deepest parts of the ocean. French diver and Titanic expert Paul-Henri Nargeolet, who had conducted dozens of dives to the wreck of the Titanic, was another victim. Lastly, Stockton Rush, the CEO and founder of OceanGate, the company responsible for the ill-fated expedition, was on board. Rush was deeply committed to deep-sea exploration and had personally overseen the development of the Titan Submersible. These individuals perished during their dive to explore the Titanic wreckage. Initial recovery mission. On June 23, 2023, Pelagic Research Services confirmed that a new recovery mission to the Titan debris field was already in progress. However, it was soon reported that the debris from the Titan was too heavy for the ROV to lift, signaling that any recovery of larger components would need to be postponed until further equipment could be arranged. The return of Polar Prince. On June 24, 2023, the support ship Polar Prince, which had been instrumental in supporting Titan's expedition, returned to St. John's Harbour. Investigators boarded the ship in their attempt to uncover what might have caused the catastrophic loss of the submersible. Alongside Polar Prince, another vessel arrived towing Titan's launch platform, referred to as the Launch and Recovery System. This system was used to launch and recover the Titan during its deep-sea missions. Horizon Arctic's mission. 4 days later, on June 28, 2023, Horizon Arctic returned to St. John's Harbour, carrying with it the remains of the Titan that had been recovered from the ocean floor. Photographs and videos released to the public showed a number of significant debris pieces, including the titanium covers from both ends of the submersible, with the single viewport conspicuously missing. All these remnants were subsequently transported to the US as evidence for a thorough investigation into the incident. The United States Coast Guard also confirmed a grim discovery. Presumed human remains were found among the debris. American medical professionals were set to conduct a full analysis on these remains to confirm the identities of the victims, all 5 of whom perished during the disaster. Pelagic Research Services, the team operating the Odysseus 6K ROV from Horizon Arctic, later confirmed that they had successfully completed their mission. Forensic examination. DNA testing was conducted on the initial human remains, though no immediate report was made public. However, in September 2024, during a public hearing held by the Marine Board of Investigation, the USCG confirmed that the Armed Forces DNA Identification Laboratory in Dover, Delaware, had successfully identified the DNA profiles of all 5 victims of the disaster. Expert analysis of the debris. On June 30, 2023, Insider published an analysis conducted by Plymouth University professor Jasper Graham Jones. who provided insights into the cause of the disaster based on the recovered debris. According to Graham Jones, the most likely cause of Titan's catastrophic failure was the collapse of its carbon fibre hull. Notably, no large pieces of carbon fibre had been recovered from the wreckage, supporting this theory. Another potential cause was the failure of the submersible's acrylic viewing window. The window had been absent from its bell housing when it was recovered, and while the salvage team may have removed it before recovering the housing, Graham Jones suggested that this was unlikely. If the window had failed before the carbon fibre hull, it would have likely resulted in the recovery of larger carbon fibre pieces. During early October 2023, engineers returned to the site to continue the recovery efforts. They successfully retrieved additional debris as well as more presumed human remains. These final efforts provided further material evidence to be analysed as part of the ongoing investigation into what exactly led to the disaster that claimed the lives of those aboard the Titan. The quest to visit the Titanic's resting place ended in tragedy, leaving us with important questions about the future of undersea exploration and the safety of such missions. What are your thoughts on this incredible yet tragic story? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this documentary insightful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into remarkable stories like this one.